I refused to let my mother-in-law borrow our car after she spent hours mocking my childhood trauma. My wife Lisa and I have been married for 2 years. Her family was always fine, nothing special, but no major problems either. That changed last week at my sister-in-law's birthday party. We were all at her house, maybe 20 people total. Lisa's mom, Carol, and her dad started making jokes about my childhood. For context, I've been open with them about how my parents were mentally abusive when I was younger. It messed me up for years, and I spent a lot of time in therapy dealing with it. So we're all sitting in the living room, and Carol suddenly goes, "Oh, remember when you told us your dad used to call you useless? That's so dramatic." Everyone kind of laughed uncomfortably, but I just sat there frozen. Her dad, Tom, jumped in with, "Yeah, my dad was hard on me too, but I didn't need therapy for it." They kept going for like 3 hours. Every time I thought they were done, one of them would bring it up again. Carol made this joke about how I probably cried when my mom yelled at me. Tom said something about how kids these days are too sensitive and can't handle real parenting. My sister-in-law tried to change the subject a few times, but they just kept circling back to it. At one point, Carol actually said, "I bet your parents weren't even that bad. You probably just remember it wrong." I wanted to leave so badly, but Lisa kept giving me these looks like just ignore them. When we finally got home that night, I told Lisa how hurt I was. She felt terrible and said she'd talk to them about it. 3 days later, Carol calls Lisa crying. She'd crashed their car backing out of a parking spot at the grocery store, completely totaled the back end. Their insurance doesn't cover rental cars, so Carol asks if she can borrow Lisa's car for a few weeks while they figure out repairs. Lisa was about to say yes when I stopped her. I told her I really didn't want to lend them anything after what happened at the party. Lisa understood, but said we should at least think about it. We were still discussing it when Carol and Tom just showed up at our house unannounced. Carol immediately started in on me the second we opened the door. "You shouldn't get so offended over a joke," she said, standing on our porch with her arms crossed. "We were just having fun. You need to learn to laugh at yourself." Tom tried to apologize, but you could tell he didn't really mean it. He was just saying sorry to keep the peace, but Carol wasn't having it. She kept going on about how I was being too sensitive and that everyone makes jokes about their childhood. I finally told her that spending 3 hours making fun of someone's trauma isn't a joke. That's just being cruel. She rolled her eyes and said I was being dramatic again. They left without the car keys. Later that night, I started getting text messages. First from Lisa's brother saying I was being unreasonable, then from her aunt, then from Carol's friends who I'd never even met. Apparently, Carol had posted this whole thing on Facebook about how her terrible son-in-law refused to help her when she really needed it. She made it sound like she'd asked for one small favor, and I'd cruelly turned her away for no reason. No mention of the party, no mention of the mocking, just made me look like the bad guy. My phone was blowing up with messages from Lisa's family calling me selfish and heartless. Carol even commented on her own post saying, "Some people just don't understand what family means." Lisa was furious at her mom for posting that. She tried calling Carol to tell her to take it down, but Carol wouldn't answer. The post got like 50 comments, all from people saying, "What an awful person I must be." Lisa finally commented explaining what actually happened at the party and how her parents had spent hours making fun of my childhood abuse. That shut people up pretty fast. Carol deleted the whole post within an hour, but she still won't talk to either of us and keeps telling everyone I'm holding a grudge over nothing.